Joining us today for Primetime Local News is Sarah Kades, Calgary, author of Wild Not Broken. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Of course, we're glad to be able to have you on here. Now, for this book, Wild Not Broken, this is the second book in your Hearthstone series, correct?
Yep. Yes, it is.
And I want to start off with asking, what can fans expect with the second book?
Actually, really fast paced, lots of action, but also lots of pretty cool character development, including some heat. There's some heat to it. But really fast action, lots of twists and turns. The landscape, the land, Mama Earth play some pretty significant parts, and family dynamics, some good family dynamics, some not as good family dynamics are all in the mix for a bit of a roller coaster ride. Yeah.
And since the release, how has support been from readers?
Actually, it's been beautiful. It's been really beautiful. I actually wrote a narrative nonfiction with one of Calgary's active duty homicide detectives, and people have noticed that my fiction writing actually is a bit grittier, a bit it has shifted, it has pivoted as I've grown as an author, including that experience, right? Because you grow with every project you do. So this one I took more risks, more artistic risks, more character risks, and had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun writing this, but it also, I'll be honest, it totally kicked my butt. Some books just they fall out of you, and others kind of make you work for it the whole way. And book 3, which is coming out in June, that fell out of me. And this one, the characters were a bit more coy. I don't know if that makes sense to your audience, but yeah, this one, characters were a bit more coy, which I'm hoping is a really fabulous reader experience. But yeah, the support has been great. People love having a book set here, like in Alberta. Folks really resonate well with it. It's a different sort of read, and so far great.
And it is interesting to know, when many people think about authors, they think that usually it's very easy for their books to, come out and be able to write so easily. But it's interesting to know that you can still have that writer's block, and it's still a lot of effort to put into these novels. Yeah.
If there's any writers in the crowd or aspiring writers in the crowd who haven't dipped their toe in, man, honor your process and jump in, whatever that looks like, and really trust and honor your process. And yeah, this book definitely took me to school. It was such a beautiful learning experience. Actually, my publisher will attest. I'm like, oh my gosh, Mark, it's kicking my butt. But he was super supportive, and yeah, it came around, and I'm really pleased, and I've gotten really beautiful feedback. So it's good.
And for people unaware that may not have heard of the Hearthstone series and they kind of want to check it out, can you kind of explain the plot of it?
Yeah. So the first one actually has an archaeologist who does lots of work in northern Alberta, which I was an archaeologist and did lots of work in northern Alberta. We talked a bit about Edmonton before. Yes, I have flown in and out of Edmonton and up to Fort Mac many, many times. So it's about an archaeologist who actually helps an estranged oil baron father, an environmentalist daughter. And through that, his own family secrets start unraveling, and then book 2 they unravel kind of catastrophically, which is great, and sets up book 3. There are those undercurrents of family secrets being revealed, but also lots of healing happening. So I always like to leave readers with in a good place, right? I want it to be a super satisfying book with lots of twists and turns and lots of conflict and tension. Of course, that's why we read books, right? That's why we love storytelling, but also leave readers really satisfied and happy and hopeful too. So so the first one starts with an archaeologist. So if there's any archaeology fans in the crowd, they might dig that one. And of course, it's Alberta. The tension between oil and the environment, that polarity doesn't have to rip us apart. And I've been so fortunate actually in my day job to work with really extraordinary people that, if you listen to the media headlines, they're supposed to hate each other, but man, do they work well together and really work for solutions. So those are also my books I demand a lot from. Actually, I want to cover a lot of ground and do a lot of socially responsible things with them. So lots of twists and turns.
And as more of your fans read the second book, do you expect to see that same reaction for your third one and from what you've seen from your first book?
I do. I do these. So this series is about the linking thread is the adult children of divorced parents, which is actually pretty common. Like that's not super unique, but each of these characters have lots of inner dynamics going on and meet with really fascinating partners that really challenge them and bring out the best. They bring out the best in each other with each. So this series has each of the siblings has their own book, and if you love the secondary characters, just wait, they'll get their own book. And I love writing series as an author because I fall in love with my characters, and I want to keep exploring and see what ride they take me on, what adventure they take me on, and I've gotten similar feedback from readers. So this series, it's great because you get to hang out with those characters quite a while.
Perfect, Sarah. Well, once again, congrats on your second book. You were saying a bit earlier that it was a lot of work to get through. And is there anything else you'd like to add that I may have missed out on?
Actually, Alberta has an amazing writing community. So if you want to check out books by Albertans, like it's kind of like a hotbed of authors here. It's an amazing province to be a writer in. Support your local writers. They are brilliant, lovely, smart, interesting people. So go check out. And who knows how many Lloydminster, I imagine that you've got a pocket of awesome writers in Lloydminster too. So yeah, check out your Alberta and Saskatchewan writers.
Once again, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me on.